That's right, a good warrior deck, one that I personally had a 70% win rate with, and wouldn't you know it, it's Enrage Warrior, everyone's favorite deck to pretend doesn't exist. So we've got the typical early stuff. We've got Anima Extractor to buff our hand. We've got Imbued Axe to buff our board. But the real thing that makes this build of the deck interesting is the new legendary spell, Blackrock and Roll. It's 5 mana, and it gives all minions in deck stats equal to their mana cost. And that is a buff. It doesn't replace the stats. It's additional on top of their stats. One of the most powerful things Blackrock and Roll does is buff Zilliax, up to an 8 power minion that of course also heals us for 8. Very, very strong. But what we're really trying to do is play it with our charge minions. So we've got Decimator Olgra, 9 power. Remornia, 11 power. Gromish, like 18 power or something like that. Trenchstalker, 17 power. We've got all these charge minions, they go face, and the opponent dies. I'm not sure if this is the best way to build an Enrage Warrior, but it's definitely the most interesting the deck has ever looked. Rogue. Instrument Tech is very good. I think all these other cards are bad. Maybe Hook Fist goes up in value when I have Instrument Tech. Alright, got the axe in hand. Theoretically, it could be infused on curve, but pretty unlikely. Probably just play Acolyte here. Wow. The weapon's gonna be infused. Is that good? I kinda just still want to play Acolyte. Another bash. Okay. Kind of a weird turn. I can go Hook Fist or Roaring Applause next turn to draw a bunch of cards, but to what end? Why do they have a Doom Hammer? Blackrock and Roll. Kind of makes me want to save the card draw for my deck to be buffed. I have so much mana to spend, though. Definitely a questionable Roaring Applause. But also if I held it, it wasn't necessarily super likely to draw two. At least not in a convenient way. It's also reasonable to play Embers to try to protect this. But, I don't know, I felt like Blackrock and Roll coin Embers that actually got buffed was probably a little better. Maybe I have to Thori here, but I don't think this 1/4 is that scary if I just don't think it's that scary. Stop drawing chargers, please. Pretty awkward turn. Next turn is probably Thori Hook Fist, unless I draw something good. The Putreside's undead, but the Concoctor is not, right? My opponent do be concocting, that is for sure. Okay, there we go. Found a charge minion. Now, if I could find the 17 damage charge minion to go with it, that would also be great. Fizzle. Against all my charge minions? Oh, that Wrathscale Naga is kind of scary. Olgrud doesn't even die here, despite not getting buffed. Oh, that is a good one. We'd love to see it. So I got my 9 face in. Either minion plus Trench Stalker is lethal. Not that I actually expect either minion to live. It's pretty easy for them to get like 3 damage plus Deadly Shot here. Halfway there. Right, I did know they had that. So Trench Stalker is not going to be lethal. Oh, it's super not going to be lethal. Could go Ziliax here. Oh, I can go Ziliax Anima Extractor, and Anima Extractor is kind of a blocker against Astalor. Alright, there's just no way they're playing Astalor this turn. That is such an annoying card that probably should not be in my opponent's deck, but it is, in fact, in my opponent's deck. Alright, I guess I'm just Trench Stalking here. Opponent is at 7, and I have a Trench Stalker. I guess maybe I could have saved my Sanguine Depths for Grom, which is maybe like more of a guaranteed lethal. But I don't think I'm gonna have any trouble killing with Trench Stalker. Very good, very good. Druid? I mean, this has to be a good matchup for me, right? What the hell's Druid gonna do when I put a minion in play? I don't think any of these minions are worth keeping, though. Hookfist is kinda close. It's the 6th best card off the mulligan. Probably not worth it, though. Well, my hand definitely got worse. But then I got an Imbued Axe. So did it really get worse? Tough questions. Whoa. What's happening? Well, play the 1/2s. Kind of forces my opponent to hero power one of them. Otherwise, they're going to get Imbued Axed. Aquatic Form on 2 mana. Obviously gonna play an axe here. And then I guess what I whack you. Doesn't really matter how I do this. Pretty good turn 3, but I need to start top decking good cards if I want any of my turns until turn 8 to be good. That is a minion, so cool, I guess. That is a 4/5. Love Thori'belore. If only I could use it to kill the 4/5. I guess I could have used it to kill the 4/5. Could have put the damage on my 1/3. Probably didn't put enough thought into that turn, but I think this is what I would have ended up doing. Because my opponent's looking pretty dead, to be honest. They need, like, Innervate and Ubercon, probably. That certainly doesn't cut it. Are they dead on... No, that's a silence. That's really strong. 5, 6, 11... I believe this is exact lethal. 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Just a classic deck that plays minions versus Druid. Another Death Knight. I think it's fine to keep Blackrock and roll against a random Death Knight. What about the 1-drop situation? Neither of these cards is generally good off the mulligan. I guess I'll just keep the egg. No, I won't. Love Instrument Tech. Instrument Tech is the 3rd best card off the mulligan, and we only play 1 copy of it, which is kind of interesting. Sure. So I guess I actually bump here and then swing at the weapon. This is gonna be a 2/3. I'll probably just do this. And the next turn I bump, I Thori into this, then I hit with the weapon, and I'm just super winning on board. Probably just never play Blackrock and roll in this matchup, but I don't know, hard to say. Bump Thori'belore, get a bunch of stats. I don't think they have a clean way to answer a 4 health minion. Maybe they can play like Viserion to kill one of these, but it still gives one of my 2 minions +2/+2. Or 1/1 to each. I guess Construct Porter is just a very clean, obvious way to deal with a 4 health minion. I did get the good buff here. Because, well, I guess I can start by doing this. And then we go Thori. Whack, whack. And then I really just want to not die at this point. Maybe I can draw Ziliax. What is an Anima Extractor? Why is this thing not undead? It looks kind of gray, so it should probably be undead, right? Basically, I want it to draw another card with Roaring Applause. Only 4 shots. I don't know how to feel about 3 shots going face there. Well, I probably feel like I want to draw 3 cards for 2 mana. And then I want to gain some armor. And Ceremornia does 8. That is a lot. Okay, that does hatch my egg for me. Isn't it kind of weird that something cold would hatch an egg? Isn't that not how eggs work? Although this egg is in snow, so maybe that is how it works. So I have to assume I'm getting Frost Nova next turn. God, this is 11. If I just go face with this, these push 6, that's 17, the opponent's at 8. It's not particularly easy to deal that last bit of damage. This thing is going to be a 4/4. Could Embers, revive this, play this. I get to push 10 this turn. My opponent's at 15. This is 11 next turn. I don't know. I need to deal with that 5/6. And maybe I can just wall out a dragon with some 2/4s. If they just shoot me for 5, I'm still at 13. Not exactly super likely to die with a little bit of a taunt wall, and then I have Trench Stalker to finish the game. Oh, only 2 corpses. That's very sad for you. Nice. I think I was pretty favored there. Big ol' Remornia was hard to deal with. Normally I'm praying for Control Priest instead of Shadow Priest, just because, well, Shadow Priest is not fun to play against, but my deck might do okay into Shadow Priest. Foul Leg is not that good off the mulligan in this deck. It's better than 2 of these cards, but the Imbued Axe is very good. Alright, Control Priest. Do I play a 1-mana 1/3 in this matchup? They actually don't have a great answer to it because their early game removal is like Light It Burns. And I guess if they do answer it, it's 1 of 2 for Imbued Axe. I would absolutely love to find Embers of Strength next turn, at least if my minions live. And it looks like they live. Embers, 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 Embers. No, not Acolyte of Pain. We are going into Coin Clean the Scene. I don't think I want 2 Acolytes to get cleaned. I guess I draw a card here. I don't love the Sanima Extractor, but it's probably fine. Definitely not an insane Clean the Scene, but a decent one. They might have a Trench Stalker, but they probably just take Ziliax here, assuming they were shown all 4 cards, which they obviously weren't. That card's in Standard for some reason. Ziliax does also get cleaned, which is kind of a bummer. Is Acolyte of Pain a mech? Should be. Looks like he's got metal on him. Wow, still no board clear. They're taking 4 damage per turn. I just need to hit them 7 times and them to forget they have a hero power and they're dead. And even if they remember they have the hero power, I only need to hit them like 14 more times. Factor in the Trench Stalker and it's only 12 more times. Basically, I'm not sure that I can lose from this position. Alright, I guess this Acolyte gets big. I am actually pumping out a good amount of damage now. I can just go Olgra into Grom into Trench Stalker, which is at least 23 damage. Well, weapon 2 on Grom, so another 5 out of the weapon. I still get a card out of this. And what a card it was. That is a Ziliax, but it is not an identity theft Ziliax. I like Ziliax over Olgra here because they don't get to heal off of it. At least pop my egg for me if you're gonna do something so ridiculous. Thank you. So, I can send 3 attacks into this. That'll leave 3 damaged minions in play. That makes Olgra have 6 power. I guess I can make it have 7 actually. But 7 is not that much. I guess this is the way to do it. Starting to feel somewhat insecure with the amount of damage I have. But I do still have Blackrock and Roll and 2 Chargers. So if I draw those cards in the right order, it can be a ton of damage. Oh, my 8/4 gets to connect? Wait a second. Suddenly I'm feeling very good about the amount of damage I have. This is definitely Grom weapon, right? Am I using this other Sanguine Depths? I'm pushing 22. Alright, heal or get Trench Stalked. They healed. I thought about holding back on Anima Extractor, because I can shoot it with Sanguine Depths to buff up Trench Stalkers. But unfortunately I can't play Extractor and Trench Stalker in the same turn, so probably better off just committing my next 2 turns to being 8 damage each. What an incredibly obnoxious card. But they do have to be able to deal with my minions here. I have 10 from no board. And then if... Okay, that was interesting. Well, I can no longer buff this with the Sanguine Depths, but I can buff it with a weapon. Alright, so I have 10, 12... Yeah, I have lethal. Barely. But I do have... Oh, I can buff this with the weapon and with the Sanguine Depths, but I don't need to. Very nice. I feel like that's probably kind of a tough matchup. Maybe not, though. They drew 3 board clears and a Blackwater Behemoth. Nice.